Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is a Man City video, funnily enough, although Chelsea have a part to play in this story, so stay tuned because it's a very, very interesting move that I never thought could come about that we might have to consider. So we'll get into it. Before we do, two things. Firstly, make sure you follow me on the socials. Links are in the description. Twitter and Instagram are both there to get my thoughts and opinions away from YouTube on a day-to-day basis. You can catch it all there, so make sure you're following. And I was also, I popped up on George Benson's live stream earlier on. So if you do want to catch that, catch it here for that little conversation we had in relation to a bit of the latest on Chelsea, Graham Potter, the new mental skills coach, and the fixtures to come and how we reckon Chelsea will do. Go and catch that after you are done with this and enjoy. Let's get cracking. Manchester City might lose Pep. Now, Manchester City are currently in a situation where they are facing severe repercussions for their conduct over near 10-year period. I think it's an 8-year period if I'm being exact. I think it's 2010-11 up until 2017-18 or 2018-19, so around there. And Manchester City having not declared or not shown correct revenue, sponsorship money, income, all of that, not been declared correctly. And as a result, it seems like the Premier League have announced that, obviously pending investigation, that Manchester City have breached over 100 regulations. Now, because of that, we spoke about Pep's comments in yesterday's video, and I did mention what he said earlier on in May. Earlier on in May, he did say that with this investigation, if it does come out that Manchester City have been found guilty of these allegations, then Pep will feel done by his club and he will walk. He will feel like he's been lied to and he will leave the job. Now there's talk that that is exactly where it's heading. And why? Because it's not just one or two allegations here. It's apparently Manchester City being in breach of over 100 regulations that have been set out by the Premier League. Over 100. I said this with George earlier on. Either one side of the story are an absolute severe bunch of liars, right? Either Manchester City are severe liars or the Premier League are severe liars. You could say maybe there's somewhere in between. Yeah, that's a story for a different day. But in relation to this, one of them have got to be lying. One of them. And on a massive scale here. So if it is Manchester City and Pep stays true to his word, he'll walk. And I have to say, it would be insane for the Premier League to come out with a statement like this, especially when you look at it from a perspective of Manchester City. They're not the Man City that they used to be. Manchester City now one of the richest clubs in world football. Eyes on Manchester City. Manchester City are now a global brand. You know, what they do for the image of the Premier League is massive. On a global scale is huge. Much like Manchester United have done in the past, much like Arsenal have done in the past, much like Liverpool have done, much like Chelsea have done, Manchester City have entered that conversation, for sure. Right? And probably Newcastle will do the same in years to come. But on a global scale, the Premier League benefit from Manchester City being at the level that they're at. They just do. So for them to sabotage themselves would be stupid. It would be shooting yourself in the foot. I doubt they would do that just for the sake of it. I'm inclined to think that over 100 breaches of Premier League regulations, there has to be, surely, some truth to it. And as I've said, if there is, Pep walks. If he stays true to his word, he walks. So Manchester City now facing the punishments that could come. And I have to say, because this is also part of the reason why I've decided to speak about this, and we'll come to Pep very shortly. But the repercussions that have been set out today that Manchester City could be facing, not only are we talking points deduction. You know, points deduction, yeah, they come down to 8th and 9th with us and Liverpool. Fantastic. Not really a big deal, right? But points deduction, a massive fine. Well, I mean, they can afford any fine. It's Manchester City. Let's have it right. There's talk about other repercussions where they might have to play games against teams that lost to Manchester City in various competitions during those years in order to determine who actually wins it. I don't think we'll ever come to that. But there is one consequence, one punishment that has been flagged today where, funnily enough, it could happen, is if Manchester City get expelled out of the Premier League, right? Again, I at first would say, nah, there's no way. There's no way they're going to let Manchester City get kicked out of the league. There's just no way, or the Premier League is going to kick out Manchester City. But then again, I wouldn't expect the Premier League to put on the table an allegation of in breach of 100 regulations of the Premier League. No one would have thought the Premier League would do that to Manchester City. A lot of people would think, if that's the case, Manchester City will just throw a few envelopes underneath the table and the Premier League will be like, okay, it's fine. You know, many people still believe Manchester City will just be slapped with a fine and maybe a couple of points deducted, or maybe, you know, a couple of games banned. So Man City are declared forfeit to maybe a few fixtures, something like that, right? But there's a possibility they could get expelled out of the Premier League. Apparently, according to Sky Sports, there are many Premier League clubs that are in favour of kicking Man City out. Now, the problem is, many people think, it's fine, just like as Juventus in Italy got sent to Serie B. Right? Many people think, it's okay. You know, the Manchester City will get sent down to the Championship. Not a problem. You have to understand, the structure here in this country is different to Italy. In Italy, it's one gigantic football pyramid, one gigantic league, right? There's Serie A. The Italian Football Federation are in charge of Serie A, Serie B, Serie C, and etc. Right? In England, no. In England, past 1992, the Premier League became its own entity, which was criticised at the time because, you know, it was seen as what we see now as a Super League, right? Which, in effect, yes, it's true, but it's still part of the English football structure. So the Premier League is its own thing. It's its own entity. The leagues that come below are run by the English Football League, the EFL. The Championship, League 1 and League 2 are run by the EFL. Separate body to the Premier League. There's a Premier League that runs the Premier League, and there's the EFL that run the Championship, League 1 and League 2. The EFL are under no obligation to accept Manchester City if they choose and they don't want to. The EFL could easily turn around and go, no, we've got all of our teams. So in the Championship, we've got our teams, 24. We've got them. We've got teams that have been promoted from League 1 that deserve to be in the Championship. We don't want to get rid of them. We've got teams that have been promoted to the Premier League. They deserve to be gone. We have no business with them anymore. But even from League 1 to League 2 to League 1, League 1 to the Championship, those teams shouldn't be interrupted. And teams coming from the conference or coming from, you know, non-league into League 2 shouldn't be interrupted either. So we've got all of our quota. We've got all of our places filled. We don't need anyone else coming into our leagues because of punishment. The EFL could say that if they want. And then it would have to be accepted. They would have to be listened to. At that point, what's the next option? The next option is to send Manchester City to the non-league. So the league below League 2. At that point, it becomes the FA. Because the non-league, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, yes, you have each league, like, you know, like Ryman and Vanderrama and all of those crazy leagues where you don't really hear about them. But at that point, Manchester City would have to enter one of those. They would have to go non-league. Now, this is where it gets serious. Because we didn't laugh when it was, you know, Bury that got basically sent into non-existence, right? We remember the whole situation with them. They had to literally fold the entire football club. Bolton, everyone was happy that they got saved because of their financial difficulty. It would be relatively sad to see Manchester City become a non-league side. I mean, some would find it hilarious. I'm not going to lie. At first, it will be funny. But when you think about it, Manchester City, and I think about the fans here, the fans is where it hits. It's not really the club or the players or anything like that. I mean, the players will probably end up playing for other top teams anyway. For them, it's a career. Same goes for Pep. Same goes for everyone that works at Manchester City. Except for the canteen staff and the cleaners and all of that. They'd probably suffer too. But the fans, if Man City got sent down to non-league, bloody hell, that's a hit on the fans. It's a big hit on the fans. The entire structure of Manchester City changes forever. So you have to take that in consideration. If that were to be a punishment, it's a very, very possible punishment. Imagine Man City in the non-league. How would you react? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But because all of this is a possibility, it goes back to the question of Pep and him possibly leaving Man City. He would have to stick to his word and go, yo, guys, I'm done. You have failed me. I feel cheated. I've been lied to. All my work has been a fugazi. It's been for nothing. I'm gone. Bye. At that point, this is where Chelsea entered the question, right? This is where we entered the fray. I have to put this forward. If Pep Guardiola becomes available, it would be insanity for Chelsea not to entertain a possible approach for Pep Guardiola. I'm just saying that now. And I want to know what you guys feel. Despite, even if Graham Potter, all of a sudden, manages, it looks like he's got his hold on the team. It looks like he's got things running in his favour. Chelsea have started winning games, right? Even then, it would be stupid to not consider going after Pep. Let alone the form that Chelsea are in right now and the way that it's looking right now. I'm just making this clear right now. If something happens very soon and Pep leaves Man City, I, under no question, right, no hesitancy, expect Todd Boehly, Egbali, Chelsea Football Club to move for Pep Guardiola and tell Graham Potter, look, I am very sorry, but even you can understand this. Pep Guardiola is available, mate. We have to. I'm sorry. Surely even Graham Potter would be like, yeah, you know what? I get that. No problem. Good luck. Can I get my compensation, please? He'd be out the door instantly. And he would understand. I understand why other fans are hesitant for going for other managers, right? They feel there's no need. We'll keep Graham Potter. And as I've said, look, I said this on George's video. If results do pick up and we start to see something, right? Of course, keep Graham Potter. It'd be stupid if we start to see things materializing and then all of a sudden we go, okay, no, we got to get rid of him. My concern is that I don't think it's going to get to that point. That's where I feel. I feel like what we're seeing, even with the new signings, I feel like we're just going to hit one level and not go beyond that, because the team's not being managed correctly. That's my genuine opinion. But if things do begin to change, if we begin to see a style of play, if we begin to see relationships forming, if we begin to see goals, chances, we begin to see things happening on the pitch, there's movement, there's enthusiasm, there's all of a sudden we're starting to see Chelsea play ball as we should be playing with the talent that we've brought in, like we're expecting them to, at least a subtle improvement. At that point, yeah, keep Graham Potter. There's no reason to get rid of him at that point. But up until then, it has to remain in the question, especially if results keep sinking. There's only so low we can go. If Pep were to become available at some point this season, I'm just saying, Chelsea, with the resources, with everything that we have, and the circumstances at City where some people expect him to be loyal, he won't, because he's been lied to and cheated to. Right? Let's be honest. If Man City are guilty of what they've been accused of, I have to stress that. If after investigation we find out, yeah, you know what, they're guilty, then Pep's got no reason to remain loyal to them. At that point, Chelsea come in with every single resource they have and they go, Pep, what do you want? It's here, it's ready. Sign. Become Chelsea manager. I think he'd do it. And if people are talking about a certain brand of football, right, which, again, I'm not fussed about, but I'm just making the point. If people want to see Chelsea play a beautiful style, attacking style of play, right, and we know how to thrive with it, Pep's going to be the guy to do it, let's be honest. So that's my thoughts. Let me know down below. Would you take Pep at City? I have to say, though, if I'm being real, I mean, at Chelsea, not at City, I have to be real. Do I genuinely think Man City will get punished? Yes, but I don't think they're going to get anything severe. I do think when it comes down to it, yes, we might see maybe points deducted. We will definitely see a fine. If it does come out that, yes, Man City are guilty of everything that they've been accused of, I think that's as far as it'll go. Just for the Premier League to make a statement and not damage the league, and to keep a big player like Man City in the league, and to just have everything done the way that they want, all the boxes ticked for the Premier League, I think they would just slap a fine, here's some points deducted, and that's it. That's what I'm expecting, but we'll see where it goes. The big question is, though, even if that were the case and Man City are found guilty in some sort of form, Pep said that if they are, he's walking. So, Pep, are you true to your word? We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. And if he is, Chelsea, you better have him on speed dial. That's all I'm saying. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see all of you very, very soon. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash like button if you've enjoyed this. I'll see you later, people. Have a good one. See you later. Take care, and peace.